welcome back to another episode of the Art for Wellness podcast. If we haven't met already, this is Danielle, Beck, and you're listening to the show that helps you navigate through the world of art business and challenges the idea of falling into the 9 to 6 hustle mentality trap. If you'd like to know how to get started with creating your art business strategy plan, you can watch my free masterclass How to Profit from Your Art at www.artforwellness.co.uk/replay. It's only available for a limited time, so make sure you check it out. And today I'm going to be talking about a topic where you may be asking yourself, okay, is this something I really want to hear about? And here's the thing. The reason I'm creating this episode is that I had many messages from artists who have asked about how I got started with my own art business journey and who want to hear my story. And the intention for this episode isn't to go far back as the day I was born, but we're actually going to be starting from the beginning of my career. Now, this episode will have actionable steps that you can take, and it will detail the specifics from my experiences, and I have some personal insights from my journey, from suffering with mental health challenges to happiness in my private life and in my art business. So the reason why I want to share this with you today is because I love to hear from others about their stories and lessons learned from those who have overcome setbacks and challenges. So you'll be getting the details that will hopefully make an impact in what you're doing in your art business while you're building something you love that you're working so hard to scale. If you're a devoted follower, you may already know about my mental health challenges like psychosis, anxiety and depression, and you would have heard a bit about the story, but we'll be diving deep into things that I've never spoken of, how it got me to where I am today, what's worked and what hasn't, and what has helped me along the way. I'm going to include a trigger warning and a full disclaimer that I'm not a doctor or a trained medical professional, and that if you're suffering with any challenges around your mental health, that you can contact your GP or mental health charities like mine. You'll learn about the wins and my insights into lessons learned along my journey that I've put out here to spread hope and to inspire you. So I'll go over 3 main points today. The first is what I wish I knew before I got into my art business, and the second is how to do the mindset work that helps you grow both personally and in your business, and the third is how I approach negativity as an entrepreneur. So let's start from the beginning. How I got started as an artist and what I wish I knew back then. My career started as a full-time corporate checkout girl of a reputable pharmacy company in the UK. I loved who I worked with, however, I was not fulfilled from the job. I was tired, overworked, underpaid and trading my time for money. And it was at that point in my life that I realised I was trading my time for money and what that meant, and how actually my time was worth way more than anything, more than money. The turning point for me, why I finally left corporate, had to do with 2 situations. The first was from suffering with physical and mental health challenges. And the second was because I wanted to really pursue something more, where I wasn't trading my precious time for money. And one thing that I learned from my experiences so far is this: life is precious, time is precious, and I've also learned that it's about knowing what to prioritise when it comes to your time. Because it's when you say yes to everything that you get burnt out and overwhelmed, and you'll know from your gut and your intuition when to say no. When I was in corporate, this is what I knew. I didn't want anyone else ever telling me what I should do, what I have to do with my time, at the expense of my own precious time and energy. I wanted nothing more than to decide and determine things for myself and to do truly what lights me up. And I think what I've learned is as long as you don't allow fear to paralyse you and to stop you in your tracks doing what you really want to do and moving forward, you'll be fine. This is what we'll talk briefly upon a bit later in the episode. First, I want to share this quote with you from the author Elizabeth Gilbert. "You have extraordinary treasures hidden within you. Bringing forth those treasures takes work and faith, focus and courage, and hours of devotion. We simply do not have time anymore to think so small. Now, as artist entrepreneurs, I feel that we are always thinking out of the box. Am I right? Taking giant leaps with the impact we want to make. And this is what I love about the industry, that we are visionaries and are excited about following our passions. Art is very much about having this as an outlet and a platform for expression, which creates an extension of our values, our stories, and our experiences. Now, during my mental health recovery, I feel a lot of my compassion and genuine care about people came from my experiences working with helping artists through my consultancy sessions, as well as the courses and the charity work that I did too. I also had a lot of support from my mentors at Family Business Place while helping them scale their business, and I would just like to mention at this stage that mentors are the best. They are invaluable, so make sure you go get one. Now, the whole idea of creating the experiences that I chose to create has stayed with me and everything I do in my business. I know that some of you are still in your 9-to-5 corporate roles, or you may be kind of halfway through making the switch, where you're getting close to it. Now, let me tell you, you have to listen to your intuition, your heart, your mind, your gut, your soul in this. I would say that it's quite helpful to have clients waiting for you before you quit corporate, and that you have enough money to be able to support yourself for that start. Supporting yourself as an entrepreneur isn't solely about financial means, it's also about health and well-being. Health and well-being is something that I weave into my business, as I've struggled with psychosis, anxiety, insomnia and depression. And if you struggle with mental health challenges of any kind, we'll now be talking about what managing your mental health means alongside being an entrepreneur. So keep listening. So, how do you do the mindset work that helps you grow both personally and in your business? After a lot of hours spent working on my mindset and mental health in cognitive behavioural therapy and art therapy, I learned that in order to be happy in what you do, you have to do the mindset work, whether you have mental health challenges or not. We all have fears and worries. The first thing we need to do is to just simply give ourselves the respect and kindness we deserve. You owe it to yourself to be kind to yourself, even about those deeper feelings of worry, inadequacy or fear. It's important to address self-respect and self-care as an artist or business owner, because it can be challenging to navigate our feelings. Now, a lot of the creativity, business and marketing side is about doing things, and a lot of the drive, I believe, behind becoming an entrepreneur often sometimes comes in the form of passion, inspiration and creativity. What I have noticed from my own experiences is it's very easy to fall into a state of operating from fear and trauma, and then it starts to take the reins in what you're doing. A prime example of my struggles with this is overworking myself to burn out due to deconstructive criticism and perfectionism. Now, it's so important to check in with your mindset and how you feel. Sometimes I take a reset. When I say a reset, what I mean is you check in with your mental health and your mindset. It's about looking after yourself, not just physically with self-care like nutrition, exercise, baths, spa days, etc. But we're also talking about the mental health side of being an entrepreneur. So here's how you can take a mental reset. First of all, notice the feelings that come up for you. What feelings, what behaviours, what patterns? You just have to learn to know that you are doing your best that you can, and that you have respect and kindness towards where you are at this current moment. So identify how you're feeling. Notice when you're happy, notice when you're excited, notice when you're bored, you're upset, you're worried, fearful, or even anxious like I was. A lot of my feelings, I realised, are rooted in trauma triggers, and this can cause you fight, flight, freeze or fawn. It affects how you work, how you behave, how you feel, and so much more. So I realised that if you don't identify or address your feelings, you're just going to stay in a cycle of trigger and response, even small triggers. So you may be thinking, how do you respond to those feelings and break that cycle? So this is where the third point comes in, how I approach negativity as an entrepreneur. You can do this by, first of all, asking yourself why. What you're doing is you're essentially working out the trigger, asking it a series of questions that can help you acknowledge and determine the trigger or root cause of the mindset barrier, your fear, or your inadequacy. When the trigger occurs, ask yourself, how did you feel in your body? How did you feel in general? Like for me with my work, I was feeling that there was this unnecessary pressure, and the trigger was criticism. Matt Haig once said, "Mental health problems don't define who you are. They are something you experience. You walk in the rain and you feel the rain, but more importantly, you are not the rain." I don't know about for you, but that quite really sums up this podcast episode today, because by recognising what activates us and how we feel, as well as how we run from that is a huge step to really noticing that actually I'm not my mindset blocks or my fears. I'm not my mental health challenges or my physical health challenges. Now you can work with your fear, and instead of complaining, be proactive and find solutions by asking yourself why. You have to do the mindset work on the day-to-day, but it does get easier in time. What you really want to strive for as an artist in business is the following. Finding that sweet spot between working on and managing your mental health, knowing exactly what you want to do, create or teach, and knowing who you want to serve. Then, rather than letting fear halt you in your tracks, be able to treat yourself with kindness and compassion every new day. If you're anything like me, you'll have the days where you're feeling completely stuck, drained, tired, and it's even more so important to treat yourself with kindness and compassion on those days than the days that you are progressing well. It's taken me a while to get to where I am today, and you don't have to be there right now, but you may want to make it something you strive for through your business, because from my experience, that is where my confidence took off. Thank you very much for being here with me today. I feel very grateful that I've got to share my story, and I hope that you found some valuable lessons along the way as well. I'll leave you with this. Be grateful for and take advantage of the opportunities that are coming your way. By being grateful for your opportunities that are presented, you'll be able to see more opportunities ahead of you. Look forward to talking with you again next week, same time, same place.